Sure. Thank you. There's six things that I always recommend to people as starting points for their life. Number one is realize how powerful your brain is. I have a quote that I usually share in my keynote speech with that Dr. Daniel Amen. We have more brain connections in our brain than there are stars in the Milky Way. That's how powerful each one of our brains is for people that are watching this. You have more power than you could ever believe.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Pros podcast. I'm Kristen and I'm here with Matt Motchkavitz. He's a residential broker out of Colorado. So we're going to get into a lot of personal development today. I'm excited to get into it. Thanks for being here, Matt.
Thank you, Kristen, so much for having me here today. It's always a gift to be able to share knowledge like this with people. As I told you at the outset, I'm not a hype speaker. I've been doing this a long time,
Right.
but my whole background has kind of morphed over time. I was trained as a therapist. Back then, we didn't know anything about the brain.
Right.
So I was trained as a therapist. And then I went through a personal development class on my own. This is long before I ever got into real estate. And that led me into personal development. For example, a 3-day class that I paid my own tuition to take through. And I'll tell you off the cuff something I didn't disclose to you earlier, but I wrote my dissertation in 14 weeks, which was unheard of. 80% of the people at that level had never finished their dissertations, never finished their PhDs. I just said, I'm going to write it. Did it in 14 weeks, walked out of academics, and that was what led me into speaking and training. So as I shared with you at the outset, I have two distinct careers. I'm a speaker trainer. I've been doing that for 44 years, but I'm also a residential broker, and I've been doing that for 33 years. So I love both of them. And people say, how can you do both? Well, I speak to real estate audiences. I speak to corporations, civic groups, any kind of group. But thank you for having me here. And you kind of got the gist of my background before. So if you want to lead into it, probe anything you want to. I'm transparent. I've been up in life, down in life, everywhere in between too. So
It's amazing. Well, yeah, I'm excited to get into all this personal development. You seem very educated and well-spoken on the topic. I'd love to start with, I think the first step for people to be successful is to feel like they are able to be successful. So I would love for you to get into your tips of what makes people successful.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Sure. Thank you. There's 6 things that I always recommend to people as starting points for their life. Number one is realize how powerful your brain is. I have a quote that I usually share in my keynote speech with that Dr. Daniel Amen. We have more brain connections in our brain than there are stars in the Milky Way. That's
Wow.
how powerful each one of our brains is for people that are watching this. You have more power than you could ever believe. So in my early days coming into personal development, it was hype and hustle with the conscious and the subconscious mind. Well, there's no substantiation for it. It's nice to learn it and it sounds wonderful, but in the age we live in today now, for younger people watching this, you have a brain that is so powerful. Watch Dr. Daniel Amen, for example, on PBS or YouTube, for example. He's given over 200,000 brain scans. He works with the NFL for injury recovery. So just that's a starting point to get started. Second example would be having clear goals. You might find this interesting. As I was trained as a therapist, I never once took a class on how to set goals, but I could be paid 50 back then, 50 to 150 an hour to look at you and say, wow, sounds like you need to get yourself some goals. But I'd never taken a class on goal setting myself.
Right.
So then I got into goal setting through that first class in personal development I took way back when. I've also created a whole class just on goal setting. And then, as I told you in the outset, because of my age, now I have a whole class called Fourth Quarter of Life Goal Setting. So no matter where you're starting on this journey as an investor, it doesn't matter what your age is. Study people that are 50, 60, 70 years of age. If that's where you're at, you can move faster than they ever did thanks to the technology that we have today. So we have power of mind, goal setting. Another thing that I like to teach to people is go with your strengths. So get out a piece of paper and write down talent, skills, and abilities you have. And in my No Limit seminar, I never say to people, write down your failures. I mean, you can do that as a creative exercise and say, well, what can I benefit from this? But I only focus on strengths, talents, skills, and abilities that you have in your hands right now, whether it's the power of your brain, money, access, knowledge, anything. Third example is putting goals together, but fusing that with real world time. What I find as I get older is most people think they're going to live forever. If you can get a young start in your life, by the time you're 30 or 40, you can be a multimillionaire through real estate investing. Something that takes people 40 years in a career path. There's no guarantee when they finish that they're going to be well off. They'll be always limited because by that time they're starting to think about their bodies and the breakdown in their bodies. You can start earlier, build a fortune for your family, for yourself. I still exercise. I'm in my 70s and still exercise 2 or 3 times a week on treadmills and weight exercises. So we talk about the power of the mind, understanding your strengths and abilities, having clear set goals, fusing time into it. And then the last part of it is having better relationships with other people. In other words, you don't just take advantage of people. It's not about you. It's always service. That's how I built a real estate career. When I first came into real estate, I created, by going through open houses with people, a buyer's guide for real estate. So I made a concrete guide on how to buy a home. Then I created one for sellers. This was way back in the 90s when people didn't have stuff like this. And then I did one for buying through a builder. I've now made these into Zooms, incidentally. So one thing I've learned in the contemporary stuff in real estate, residential real estate, is start doing Zoom sessions with people, advertise it on Craigslist and other places like that, and you'll pick up clients by the scads that are afraid to talk to a real estate agent, but you're teaching them credibility up front, way up front. We don't bite. I'm an educator. I'm not going to hard sell you. I always look at your life in a career path as a residential investor is, what are you going to be like in 10 years? What is it going to be like in 20 years if you had several houses in an investment portfolio? So the payoff comes how you treat and respect other people. It's not just narcissistic about me as the me generation. It's our service and helpfulness to other people. So those are 5 or 6 key factors that I use very quickly, Kristen, for teaching people how to be more successful in their lives.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you bring up such good points where it's not always about how hard you're working or, what the deal flow is. It's a lot within you that can make a big difference in your success. To go off of that last point with how you work with others, I would love for you to talk a little bit about team building and how, you can get great results from building out a team.
So because I don't have a team, I'm a solo practitioner in what I do, but my team consists of home inspector, mortgage person, title person, some people in the real estate industry, a handyman, people that repair homes, so that I can refer business to other people too and help them be successful in their own lives. So that's the way I team build for myself.
Right.
I don't have an extraordinary session on how I built a team of 50 agents that I work with yet, but that was new after my career in real estate.
No, absolutely. I mean, that is the team. And that's, I think a lot of people in this industry are working essentially alone for themselves.
Sure.
So I think it's very helpful to, yeah, build that trusted team around you.
One thing, if I can do it, share it with you. I mentioned this in passing before we started, but building a mastermind group, you'll find the initial materials in Think and Grow Rich, where he talks about masterminds. So if you're interested, I have actually materials on how to form a mastermind group and then a weekly handout that I use with people in mine. And so, for example, it's an accountability segment where you get 5 or 6 people in this group sharing together. And I gave one testimonial in my second one where a guy was moving from residential to apartment sales, just buying in that group for 2 years. So in the safety of that group, we talked about our personal goals, what we wanted to achieve. And Jeff shared with me that he wanted to move from residential real estate into apartment sales, with totally new industry for him. But
Mhm.
within a year, he became the top apartment industry sales rep in Denver, and it did that for 20 years consecutively. So part of what we get back to on goals is accountability. It's not punishment, but a mastermind group can provide you a safe atmosphere where you can disclose to other people what it is that you're trying to achieve with your life. We also do stuff on this handout that I've created is we took a book like Think and Grow Rich and we read it chapter a week and discussed that. How do we put this into action for ourselves rather than just reading a fun book? What do we learn from it? We also disclose our personal goals, for example. My goal this week is, and because of the broader nature of people interconnectedness, somebody might know somebody they can introduce you to, for example. So Jeff found that out through this mastermind group and he got into zillions of resources in the community. But and then the last thing that we have on it is events that are coming up so people can be aware of proactive groups and events that are coming to the community. It could be an educational program, it could be a Zoom, something that's enlightening and uplifting for people so that you follow that track out of the meetings weekly. That's a quick way that I help people become powerful in their own lives.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great thing to bring up that you have so many resources and you are a coach and you can really work, I don't know, one on one with people or if in groups, but you definitely help people individually.
Sure. And again, as I've said to you so many times, I'm a non-hype speaker, trainer, coach. I want results for people. And I was trained as a therapist, so I'm trying to listen to people when I'm doing coaching with them to really find out what the gist of their concerns are too.
Totally. Yeah. And I think a thing that I would love to touch on, I think a lot of people in this industry, especially when they're starting out, are very overloaded and they feel very maybe burnt out, stressed out. What are some ways to overcome this?
So I teach a whole stress management program as one of the 9 programs that I've created. So part of it's our perception, what the world is all about. Is it fear-based or is it, more proactive based? But then we also talk about such things as nutrition, lifestyle, sleep, um, being aware of what you're consuming and how that affects you. Meditation and quietness, that startles a lot of people. But if you can build that into your lifestyle, in my speech that I was going to share with you tonight, part of the last part on success is setting aside time in quietness and relaxation. I never get to that when I share it in front of public audiences because we're usually going 60 miles an hour and they
Right.
think that's the way I live. But I set aside time in my life every day and every week for quietness and meditation and reflection because ideas will come to you when you're not pressuring
Right.
the results that you're working on.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Absolutely. But you brought up a good point that you have a speech you wanted to share with us. We have about 7 minutes left. I would love to get into that.
I can't do it. It's a 50-minute speech. But basically, it talks about the conscious and the subconscious mind. Then I move it into brain innovation and brain plasticity. That's the first part, how we think. The second part is what is success? That's a fun one to share with people when you walk out into an audience as TV camera reporter. What is success? What is success? So there are two models that I show. One is the left brain or head model of goal setting, and I show the worksheets that we use on goal setting. Tell the story of John Goddard, who wrote down at 10 years old or 15 years old 127 goals in his life, not knowing what he was doing. He just wrote them down. So that's the model of the head model of goal setting. Then I teach the heart model of goal setting, why we're here, soul's purpose, for example. I teach it to tell a story that I took out of a book called Love is Letting Go of Fear by Gerald Jampolsky. He works with kids that have catastrophic and terminal illnesses, and this was one of them. This was a kid whose head was run over twice by a tractor and survived and has been on stage with Jampolsky internationally. Never give up in adversity. It's too easy to get roped in by the ego mind that tells us why we can't have stuff rather than the belief system that we can create whatever we want to in our lives. And so the last part of what I teach is specifics, visualization, 3 types of visualization, simulation, old pictures, new pictures. Tell the story of Helen Hadsell, the housewife that had not all the skills that we have today, but she learned them from Jose Silva. This is on Mind Valley's materials, incidentally. And so she won a trip to Europe 3 times for her family. The ultimate prize she used by using visualization as a housewife was a house at the New York World's Fair in 1964. Over 2 million entries. She won the house out of 2 million entries. And then the last part of it is, so we have relaxation, for example, and sitting aside. I told you in my keynote speech, I never get to it because we're too rushed as we're going through it. But to sit back and really meditate and reflect and let go of your stress, for example, that's a gift we have. So.
Absolutely. I mean, you broke down so many amazing parts of how to be, a successful person and to be more in touch with yourself. I love the visualization part of that. Can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
So in visualization, we're already doing it. The idea is to take control of it. So take it away from fear like news and downer stuff and put it into a proactive role modeling situation. So for example, in controlled alpha, we can actually sit down, discard the outside world, and try to imagine in our own minds future goals. That's what Goddard did. John Goddard didn't know way back then. But you can actually sit back and visualize. He was doing it anyway in the work that he did. He wanted to explore rivers and mountains and all kinds of other stuff. So he was using visualization. But what I'm trying to teach today is just take it into a controlled environment, whether it's an office setting or whatever you use to relax, to imagine a peaceful setting and then bring that dream into your imagination. Just powerful stuff. Healing, for example. It's used in healing work for people that have cancer and all kinds of other bad things in their lives. They've spent time being bad and fear-based. We're now teaching them a new way to live in their lives in peacefulness and love and all kinds of other things. Giving and forgiveness. Forgiveness is huge in all the stuff we're talking about.
Right. Allows you to kind of move on and get rid of blockages.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is so inspiring. I'm sure so many people are getting inspired by this and want to dive deeper into the topics. I know that you have workbooks, you have coaching. Tell everyone where to find you and how to learn
Sure.
more about everything that you've been
Sure.
talking
So
about.
my basic website is www some people think it stands for emotional intelligence. It's actually Excellence Incorporated, eiseminars.com. So www.eiseminars.com. I'm in Denver based, but I fly anywhere to share with people. Our phone number is 720-229-7484. And the email address is eiseminarsdenver at gmail.com. But as I've told you so many times tonight, I'm not a hype speaker. I'm very concrete with people. I want the best for people.
Right.
As get towards the end of my life, believe it or not, I want to make sure that I've got more miraculous stories for people's lives instead of accepting average stuff in their life, how you can take it into the stratosphere and create whatever dream you want, whether it's loving relationships, better parenting skills, anything that's important to you, health.
Yeah.
What's good is money if you don't have health, you
Right.
know?
Of course.
So anyway, that's my background real quickly. Thanks for having me tonight. And boy, we live in the freest country in the world. If you can't make a dream here, where are you going to take it to? You know?
Of course.
So thanks. If you know speaking leads to, I've given this speech 1,000 times. I've done it for park rangers, uh, you know, corporations, fire stations, you name it. And it's a very uplifting presentation. As before we started this presentation tonight, I thought, what if I just did that on a Zoom session live for 50 minutes? I'll charge for it, but a
Yeah.
minimal amount. But you'll love it. It's a very uplifting presentation. I've shared it with so many different kinds of audiences, and it's helped me in my life, just connecting with some wonderful people too. Thank you for having me.
Incredible. Well, thank you again. This has been really wonderful. I think that these are the types of things that can really help people get to the next level in their career, but also in their profession or in their personal life because, we're supposed to be well-rounded individuals. So I'm so happy you came on today and thank you everybody for listening. Hope you got a lot of inspiration and, maybe you're looking at things a little bit differently after this. Definitely check Matt out, go to his website and learn more about all of this.
And I'll close this with is, what would you create in your life if you knew there were no limits?
Mhm. I love that. Amazing. Well, we will see you back next time, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.